You've got to make a change. It's time for us as people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we think. Let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we've got to do to survive. Tupac Shakur, one of the greatest rappers ever lived, who passed away in the early 90s. It's a quote from him. I have so much gratitude right now, and I feel so happy and so aligned to be amongst you, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmasters, online and also here in the room. What I see here is a commonality where we share the same love for speaking, the same love for connection, the same love for change. And this is when humanity is at its best, when we do things together and we work as a communion and we work as a collective. I think as people, we become very disconnected. I mean, we've had some very distressing times in recent years, well, for as long as I can remember. Whether we're talking about homelessness, LGBTQ plus rights, racism, indigenous rights, ignoring mental health issues, ignoring addiction problems, we're talking about a fight against injustice. And that's where we're at our best, when we work as a collective. I think it's time that we should try and avoid cancelling each other out, and instead work together, move together, be together, and guide each other to redemption. Anecdotal experience is, of course, perspective. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that a lesson lived is a lesson learned. Through the tumultuousness of my life, I feel that I can ascertain a certain comprehension of addiction, of mental health. And I think it gives me the authority to be able to explain and talk about these subjects because I've been there. I've done it. I came out of a 33-year addiction myself, and I've been sober and clean for 6 years today, well, in August, and I feel grateful. I'm a human behavioral consultant. I'm an addiction specialist. I'm a reformed nefarious. Most of all, I'm a survivor. I'm an author as well, and I've had chances, you know, I've presented on Sky TV and radio, and it's been an amazing journey of recovery. But most of all, I'm a survivor. There's no telos to my journey, but I simply hope that if I can just help one person and stop them from going down the path that I went down, I would have done my job. I want to share my experience with as many people as I can to come out of the madness and to give them a message of hope. If I can help people become mentally, emotionally, physically overcome their addiction, their mental health, from travesty to triumph, or adversity to advancement, whatever it is, I have done my job. If I can spare just one of you. Addiction does not discriminate. Many people have this preconceived impression of an addict to be unaspiring, have pitiable hygiene, whose life solely revolves around addiction. Whilst I can subscribe to the thought that addiction is debilitating and at all times consuming, this stereotypical idea of an addict has to be dispelled. I myself was born into a very dysfunctional family. I was adopted at birth by a beautiful, wonderful middle-class family, attended the Claim boarding school, and grew up to be a loving husband and father. But despite my ostensibly picture-perfect life, I became ensnared by the power of addiction. I was trapped. I couldn't get out. I caused havoc to everyone around me, and I affected, especially my loved ones, to a great degree. Now, I'm yet to determine if I was born an addict or if it's a consequence of some of the woes that life threw at me. But I do know that addiction was not the problem. Addiction was the solution to the problem, or I call it a brilliant strategy. I was abused physically, sexually, racially for 6 years of my life, every day, from the age of 11. I suffered wounding bereavements. I developed an inferiority complex. I don't know if these are the reasons for my nefarious activities I got involved with, or whether these are the reasons for my addiction, or if it's some sort of predisposition. But what I do know is that I am an addict, I'll always will be an addict. Now, this might sound counterintuitive that I use the term addict in the present tense, especially when I'm trying to help people come out of it. But acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Until I can accept a place, a thing, a person, a situation that I find disturbing, I will get no serenity. Only once I accept it, I will get peace. My destructive behavior, my volatile mental health and addiction plagued my life to becoming unmanageable. A person has to hit rock bottom to value his existence, maybe. My story is that I was just done, completely done. But it's not like that today. I have a fantastic life. Thank you.